Okay, it's September 24th. It is about 4:15 p.m. This is just an overview of everything with the controller. I decided to add a divider, which I talked about before, a shield, EMI shield, to shield from the 115 volt area. That's basically what I get in the house is 115 volt. This is grounded. This is not. Anyway, I decided to put up a shield there. I needed a little more space also to install the relay for the plasma machine and the USB connectors, or actually we'll go to a USB connector, but this will, the two red marks here indicate those are the 2 points for the plasma switch, the trigger switch, and the last one is ground, and I have plus and minus voltage, which comes from the plasma machine, which connects up to here. These pins represent different wires coming through the USB cable. This is a shielded cable. I'm hoping there's no problem with interference between the plasma trigger and the voltage. It's only a low volt indicator of the voltage that the plasma machine is using, so I hope I don't have any bleed over coming in one cable, which allows it to extend out the length of my plasma torch cable there, hanging down on the y-axis motor. So anyway, that will get wired in. Like I said, I'm waiting for the controller to wire in all the plasma switch and the torch height controller. Some of this I will be working on beforehand. I will get this wired up, at least as far as the torch height controller, which is this device here that I designed, that has various resistors and whatnot to condition the electricity. Like I said, everything is wired with shielded, and the grounded shielded cable. All ports leading from the controller that will be here, leading pretty much everywhere. Everything is shielded cable. I went crazy because I want no possibility of electromagnetic interference. I have ground earths, negative and positive, 24 volts. I've already gone over this before. I have the different sensor probes for the optical sensors coming in. I have the touch off, which is for the floating head, to locate the height of the material. The DIN rail, of course, is to hold the Masso controller. Over here I have the USB connector, which goes to a hub externally for loading flash drives and updates, and a wireless keyboard mouse. All this I've gone over before. This is a VGA, which connects to a VGA output on the controller for the video. Last time I made a mistake and said VGA to VGA or something, and I screwed up. But anyway, so this goes to here, goes to this mini VGA to HDMI converter. So it converts it into HDMI, and I have to have HDMI. This is the cable for it. That will lead to the HDMI transmitter that will be located here on the top of the device. As I talked about before, I installed a input fan, so it blows air inward there. And here I've installed a larger fan, which is outputting. So it's a bigger fan. So I got one main port of exit for the hot air, and it will go around this shield, so the airflow will flow, although not direct. I also have the case fan here, which is a 120 fan, 120 volt, which is sucking air or blowing air into the unit. So I have two blowing in and one large exiting. That will create a very nice circulation. It should stay pretty cool as far as temperature. The real thing I really like is isolating the high voltage or higher voltage side, the AC, from the DC section. So I've, like I said, been meticulous in building this controller because I don't want the same mistakes that I did on the first controller in that computer case. I knew nothing about what I know now then when I built that. So these, of course, I've gone over this. Outputs to the axis motors. These are the outputs or inputs. Well, actually they're both for the probes, different things. Emergency stop switch, you turn, push, and it's on. Turn it to be off, clear. That is that. As far as the torch height controller, which is my main concern now because my controller, the new upgraded one, should be here in a couple weeks. Well, actually, they're going to send it out the first week of October. So it could be as far as the middle of October before I get it. That's pretty much it on the controller. I did go over the table. I wired everything up for the plugs and the probes. So everything is wired. And the reason that's good is because I can weld on the table now if I want, not have to worry about burning anything. Also, when I go to build my own new table, which will be 4x4, much heavier structure than this, it'll actually weigh like 4 or 5 times more than this. It will be heavy duty. It'll be a servo motor system. I'm using stepper motors here. I still didn't hook up that optical sensor. I guess I forgot that. These are installed, although need to be adjusted. One over there. That is a table. I've gone over all this, but you know, I like to be redundant, I guess you can call it. I'm just really anxious for this to go. Okay? So that is my update, and thank you very much. Goodbye.